Hello, hello. All right, it's August 27th, 2025. It's a Wednesday, and we're gonna go over today's price action. I wasn't on the screens much today because I was bringing the girls to Splish Splash, which ended up being a dud because they were too afraid. They're too young. We did one ride, so it was a pretty expensive one ride, and it took up a bunch of hours, mainly the AM session, and then it was from there back to the shop, and then kids were crazy today, so I had to take care of that, the business. But hopefully, when school starts, they'll like it and it'll be good for them and good for the family. So let's get into the price action. So today reminded me a lot of yesterday, where we basically had. What was yesterday? Yesterday we basically had expansion up, but a lot of manipulations to get up there. Doesn't really look like it on this time frame. Today was up, but even more manipulations. Today was pretty wild, but there's a lot of opportunity. So we're just gonna start off by going into the just like oh, for God's sakes, oh, come on, man, where did I see all that happen? I don't even know what time. All right, no. Okay, so basically coming into the morning, I was here like 9 o'clock, um, and we had like this 4 hour SMT at one point with the 6 o'clock and the 2 o'clock. So it was basically like SMT at London low. We had that for a while, the 4 hour, but then YM finally came and killed it, so that was it. And then I basically had to go to, leave the charts right when 9:30 opened, to go to Splish Splash. So we saw all the price action up to, which is good to the charts, basically up to like somewhere. Oh my goodness. So we saw the price action up to here because we were able to draw the RTH, but we weren't able to draw the first presented. So 9:30, and then I was like, I don't know. So then what ends up happening basically is we dump with NQ because the low for the other assets was where are we? I don't know why this never gets saved. Don't understand. Where are we doing these things from? Come on, where are we here? Where are we here? All right, here, right? Okay, so basically, if you look, we all took out the London low, obviously, and we like dumped pretty low, but there was no like clear SMT. The only clear SMT that I could see was we had geez, where's that low? It's right here. It's this one. The only like clear kind of SMT was this right here, where we had this 1400 candle. Basically SMT, but it's like an internal SMT because like it's not a swing low or anything. So it's basically just like this SMT right here. And maybe it's the low of the PM session, so that would be like, I guess, a better scenario because you're saying that the PM, where did it go? I need this on all time frames. So if that was the low, which it doesn't look like it is, the low looks like it's right. No, it's definitely not the low of the PM session. So yeah, it's not really a session low. So I don't know. So there was not clear SMT right there. Like looking at it after the fact. But the only thing that we did have SMT, we did have a 15-minute SMT, and that was between like the way like the reversal happened right before the 950 macro. So we get basically SMT at like 930 low because 9 930, 925, 930 is the low for ES and NYM, whereas NQ makes another lower low. So that's a pretty good SMT at like the 930 lows if you want to check even further. That's a pretty good SMT. Because it's like the 9:30 like open. So look at so boom boom and then goes. So what I'm thinking is that now it's a pretty good scenario because we had very clean highs. How do I get to it? Okay, so basically we had this. Okay, so we left this. So we had all these highs in here, clean. with all this jaggedness down here. And when we get 8:30 news comes, boom, and then 9:30, finishes the move. We get one more purge with NQ, so we have the SMT down here. So basically we have all this smooth and we're just running, and then we're running, and then right up until right before the macro. One candle before the macro is the low, and then that was a classic 9:30 Judas, for then the macro to deliver us classically back to the smooth highs. Yeah, smooth highs, previous day's highs, previous day's high basically. And so I was trying to picture how I'd have got into this. So it's the only thing I could see was this. So we had this right here, but we also had this right here, which was like the first inversion fair value gap after the reversal. Here's our first presented SMT at 9:30 lows. As soon as we got this, there's SMT here. This is a 50-minute SMT. And now we close above this inversion. Now I cannot tell you if I would have or if I wouldn't have, but I might have actually longed here with stops below here as soon as we close above this, anticipating that the next was going to run above here. So this could have been a scenario where I literally just long right here at the top, stops below here. That could have been a scenario. I cannot tell you if I would have done that or not. Depends where I was at during this moment. So that would have been an L right there. As soon as this, boom. Then, for me, looking at it in hindsight, the first thing that I noticed, that the highest probability scenario was this. First presented, as soon as we close above it strongly, that's a nice close above this. And we're still inside the macro. And then boom, this tap right here would be a limit. Stops go below this because this is all balanced in here. I would not want to do stops like that. I would do stops below here. So that's pretty good. And then of course we can use like standard, we can use, because this is a clean breaker right here, close above it, boom. So you can use standard deviations, which bring us up to this old previous day's high. And then if you want to get to the high, come on, where are you, man? Oh, that's that right there. So you could have used anything. You could have used this, which was equal high of here, a little bit, not quite. Depending on where you're aiming for. Oh no, what am I saying? I'm tired, as you can tell. So basically the macro delivers us up to equal highs up here, but falls short to around the 10:30 mark. And then what do we get? We get basically, this is like another setup right here, because if you go into the 5 minutes, this stuff I was pulling out on my phone was just so easy to like see. So this was not difficult. These are many setups today. So basically we had SMT right here. I think even on the 15 minute it was there. Oh boy, I got nothing marked in this chart. Right here to here. No, yes. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. Yeah, it was. It was a 15-minute SMT as well. So basically, when is this occurring? This is occurring inside the beginning of the lunch macro, as you can see, 11:40. So you can also be using it as like, say, where's 50 at? 50's right here. 50's there. Okay, so here's the next macro, and the macro before that is right here and here. So consolidation all in here, but then when we get this on the 5:50 minute, it looks very clean. Purge up, and then I don't know where I would have got in on here. To be very honest, if like I was trying to get down here, if I didn't get it down here, if I was in down here, I most likely would have partial went off, I'm guessing. If I was holding up for here, I would have been stops to break even for sure and just like held through this, and then definitely here when we popped above, the Asia high. That would have been definitely a partial if I hadn't done one yet. Would definitely been something taken off there. Also, we have two right here, so you could have done that. Midnight open. Maybe I would have took one up here and then one up here. I don't know. But This, I don't know how the hell you'd get into this. I mean, it was very clean on like a higher time, like a 5 minute, for example, because you have like the whole structure with the, like basically a balanced price range, and then like the purge, and then just the push. And so you try to like, okay, how would I get into like the lower time frame? You basically just like, I don't really see. It was very quick. Like look at this. It's basically like your order block, and then it's just like this placement just runs into it. So there's probably no entry in here, even though it's nice like signature. So we got that. Um, then lunch kind of comes and runs us against, all this stuff. And basically what we did, we had a 15-minute SMT right in here, which gave a nice like projections up because we still had this was our previous day's high that we didn't hit yet. So I 2 or 2.5 from the one from here. We had 2.5 right up here, lined up at 2 there. So this actually gave you a nice opportunity because there's your breaker. There's like imbalances in here. There's like an inversion. So the only way you could trust that though is this right here. You take out this with this. Those other assets. Where are they? So this. So we have this S&T, this bigger one right here. This is why I never takes it at these lows. So we had this, the S&T, 50-minute right here, here. And we had this bigger one right here, which is bigger, but S&T right here. This thing basically just comes down to feel like just, you roll around on RTH, got more. And so then from there, standard deviations, this would have been a beautiful long, to be honest with you, like super beautiful, just up to there, stops below. Yeah, that would be a beauty, in my opinion. Just like very clean move. To see how the continuation, there was continuations along this one as well. That was probably that was a very nice move. This is a very nice move here. Deep discount. Maybe it's even OTE. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. It's probably oops, probably OTE. No, falls shy of it. But if you use the wicks, I mean, if you use the bodies, then it just purged into it. So depending, it's near around OTE. This purge SMT here, SMT with stuff up here. I don't know why this is not where it should be. And what is it really just doing? It's like confined to the borders of the RTH gap. So we run, and then in here we had a 15-minute BPR. As you can see, it's also a 5-minute BPR. So maybe we'll just go into there. We get SMT right here, and then the continuation up. And if you want to look to see the entry time frame where that was, it's right here. The only thing that's tricky about this is time-wise, is that look, you got 2.5 right here, you got 2.5 right here, you got 4 right here, and then you got the previous day's high. So nice. From this, and then from this, and then the final one, which would be this one right here, which is the final delivery up into it. But so this is a good spot. You basically, if you're gonna do this, you're basically anticipating 130 to just be a continuation. I like to always wait until, if I'm not gonna get in at like 12:30 or whatever, I like to wait until like post 130. Between 130, 12:30 and 130, it's tricky because that's like major Judas can happen at like 1 to 130. So if I'm not already in like in this area and like around 12:30, I like to wait until like after 130. So having the setup occur right here at like, 120, a little bit tricky. I mean, there was a nice 15-minute, the 15-minute BPR, like SMT. I'm trying to think. This is all like stuff that I like was just watching kind of on my phone, like probably after the fact. So I'm just trying to like roll over my mind how I would have if I would have taken it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like we have all these standard deviation projections lining up every day's high. It's still like there. I'm basically getting closer to it and you're getting more like buy side. Would you take a whack before 130 with a nice like setup? Depends. Um, really depends. I cannot answer that, which is probably a bad thing. The fact that I can't answer that, which means that my decisions are more based on like a situational, emotional basis. I don't want to say that, but maybe there is. Like if I wasn't in here, would I have gotten in here? I mean, I might have been because this is how kind of I was using it, this idea yesterday. We had like a big deep retracement during lunch yesterday as well. And in my mind with SMD, and in my mind that was the purge to like finally to send us up the buy side. So if I feel like this was in and this was and I didn't get in there and this was like continue and this looks like a beautiful continuation play, I might have took a whack at it, inside of here to there, and then just like aiming up to here. And if 130 came and like rolled me out, I'd probably look to continuation. I actually was at the charts at this moment, right in this area, inside the 2 p.m. macro, which was a continuation play. I was expecting to kind of give more of a Judas, but it ended up just delivering the final stage of delivery because we have, got the boom, boom, and then boom. But this was pretty nice. Getting above midnight, getting above, we're also above 130 and above the PM first presented. So I always like to enter we're like in discount of that if we're going higher, not like when we're above it. But nonetheless, the macro did give a nice setup. We have the unicorn. We had SMT right here, our 50-minute basis as well, which was like a nice. And then it's probably your stops go right here, and then you're there. So a lot of ways to get into this run to the previous day's high. Initial one right down here. Not here. Um, then you had this one. Even though this was a nice signature, there's no way to really get in. So you have um, this, the 2, 3, and 4, and then starts the wackiness where once we deliver to there, it's just wacky, and then this is NVIDIA earnings. Just freaking going nuts. We had a literally look at this. We literally had a 170 point drop in 2 seconds. You go into the seconds chart and a 2 seconds chart, 170 point drop in 2 seconds with a freaking just void craziness. And that's that for today. Tomorrow's finally new, so it might be better. I hope they'll be around. All right.